I think my husband is having an affair with his stepsister. Okay, I feel insane even typing this out, but I need to let it out somewhere or I'll explode. I, 24F, think my husband, 24M, is having an affair with his stepsister. Yeah. You read that right. His stepsister. They're not biologically related, I get that. But it's still fucking weird, right? I've been brushing off red flags for years and I think I've just hit my limit. So some background, my husband's parents divorced when he was 15. His dad remarried when he was 17 to a woman who had a daughter, Jess, 23F now. Jess and my husband never grew up together. By the time their parents got married, they were already older teens. They lived together for like a year and a half before he went to college. That's where we met. Freshman year. Sophomore year, Jess enrolled at the same school. He introduced her to our friend group and they always acted more like friends than siblings. Sometimes they called each other bro and sis, but it always felt performative. Like, for our sake. And maybe I'm paranoid, but I swear she used to flirt with him. He never reciprocated, at least, not in front of me, and I told myself I was just being dramatic. Fast forward, years later, we're married now, still live in our hometown, and Jess is still in the picture. She's single, doesn't really date, and is always around. I started noticing weird shit. Like how she always sits super close to him. I'll be in the same room, and she'll lean on his shoulder or sit so close their legs touch. And he never really moves away. Like, am I the only one seeing how odd this is? And then April rolls around, both mine and his birthdays fall in the same week. We always do a joint celebration, and everyone gets us combined gifts. Except this year, Jess gives him a solo gift. 2, actually. A pair of pricey gaming headphones and a fucking watch. And nothing for me. Not even a card. She gave him one though. A handwritten one. I never saw what was inside it. I asked later and he claimed he threw it away. But the envelope was still sitting on the counter with the other cards. It didn't make sense. They'd been texting more. I've seen her name pop up on his screen with heart and blushing emojis. And every time I try to hang out with her one-on-one, she's suddenly busy. But she'll come over our place whenever she wants. The worst part? I caught her hanging on him at a pool party. Literally, like piggybacking him in the water. Splashing him, giggling, full-on touchy-feely. And then later, when we were changing inside, she just walked in while we were mid-change. No knock. My husband was half naked and she barely reacted. Just asked to borrow a hairbrush like it was no big deal. I can't ignore this anymore. Something's off. And I'm terrified I'm right. After that pool party, I started watching them differently. Like, through a new lens. I wasn't just seeing Jess as his stepsister anymore, I was seeing her as someone who might be actively competing with me. And I don't care if it sounds petty or jealous or unhinged. I know what I saw. I brought it up to my husband later that night. I didn't accuse him of anything directly, I just asked if he thought Jess was acting a little too familiar. He laughed. Then gave me that dismissive, "You're overthinking it" line. Said they grew up around each other and that I was making it weird. That I was the one sexualizing something innocent. What? Since when is it innocent to climb on your stepbrother's back in a bikini while his wife is watching? Or to walk in while he's changing like it's totally normal? What kind of sibling dynamic is that? So I started testing small things. Petty, yeah, but I needed to know. One night, he left his phone in the living room when he went to shower. I picked it up. No password, he's never had one, which is the only reason I didn't feel instantly guilty. I wasn't looking to invade, but her name was right there. Notifications. A message. Ugh, you looked so good today, lol fire weary face. Excuse me? I scrolled back. Most of the convo was tame. Inside jokes, memes. But she used that emoji combo a lot. And every once in a while she'd slip in a compliment like, "Why are you so hot?" or "Your wife's lucky." I didn't see him reciprocating exactly, but he never shut it down either. He'd just laugh or send a smirking emoji. Like it was harmless. I took screenshots and sent them to myself. The next day, I confronted him. I didn't yell or accuse. Just asked why Jess talks to him like that and why he never tells her to stop. He got defensive. Said I was violating his privacy. Said she jokes like that with everyone. Then tried to spin it like I was insecure and trying to drive a wedge between them. He even had the audacity to say, "You've never liked her. Admit it." I didn't answer, but maybe he's right. I've never liked how comfortable she is in our space. How she makes herself at home on our couch, how she always has a drawer in our guest bathroom, How she acts like she belongs here more than I do. But now I'm starting to wonder if he feels like she belongs here more than I do too. And I don't know what the hell to do with that thought. So this is when I started really spiraling. Like, waking up at 3 a.m., checking his location type spiraling. I hated feeling like a paranoid psycho wife, but something inside me just wouldn't calm down. I kept trying to logic myself out of it. They're not blood related, maybe they're just close, but my gut was screaming. The weirdest part? It was like Jess knew. She started acting cold toward me. If I invited her for coffee? Busy. Dinner? Maybe next week. But the second he invited her to hang out at our place, she was there in 5 minutes flat, hair done, lashes on. She didn't even acknowledge me half the time. Just draped herself on the couch, watching videos with him like I wasn't even in the room. And my husband? He noticed, sure. But all he said was, she's just moody, she gets like that when she's stressed. Oh okay, so now we're her emotional support couple? I finally snapped one night when he said he was heading over to his dad's. Again. I asked if I could come. He hesitated. I swear to God he actually flinched. Then he mumbled something like, you don't really like going over there though. Excuse me? Since when? So I said, I'll come anyway. He paused. Then, actually, I don't think anyone's home except Dad, and he's not feeling well. He probably doesn't want visitors. Red flag. I didn't push it, but I felt sick. I couldn't eat dinner. I couldn't think. And the more I thought about it, the more I remembered how often he was seeing his dad lately. Sometimes 2, 3 times a week. Always alone. Always at odd hours. So I made a plan. I waited a few days. Then next time he said he was going over, I gave it 20 minutes and drove to his dad's myself. His dad's car wasn't there. But my husband's was. I sat in my car shaking. My heart felt like it was trying to escape my chest. I didn't even know what I was going to do. Confront them? Kick the door down? Just watch? I ended up walking right in. His dad has always been chill with me just coming in if the door's unlocked, and it was. The second I stepped inside, I could hear voices. His and Jess's. From the kitchen. They were yelling. Not playful bickering. Angry. Tense. Heated. And I don't know why, but that almost scared me more than if they were laughing or being flirty. Something was definitely wrong. I stood frozen behind the corner, my stomach in knots. Then he saw me. His whole face dropped. Like full-on, oh shit, mode. Jess turned around too, and the look she gave me? Pure venom. And then I said the only thing I could think of. What the hell is going on? You ever feel like your soul just exits your body? That's what it felt like when I walked into that kitchen. My husband stood frozen, like a deer in headlights, and Jess had this smug little twitch in her jaw like she was just waiting for me to explode. But I didn't explode. I stared right at him and said, tell me the truth. Now. Because if you lie to me right now, I swear to God, I'll walk out and never come back. He looked at me. Then at Jess. Then back at me. Silence. So I repeated it, louder this time. Are you cheating on me with her? Still nothing. Jess let out this little scoff like I was the insane one here. She turned to me and said, wow. You really think that little of him, huh? I snapped. You mean the guy who's been sneaking around behind my back? Who spends more time with you than with his own wife? She rolled her eyes. You're insecure as hell. Maybe that's why he needs a break from you sometimes. That was it. I stepped forward, shaking, and shouted, what kind of a break involves lying to your wife and hiding in your father-in-law's house? My husband finally spoke. It's not what you think. That line. That stupid line. I laughed, bitterly. Oh, thank God. I thought you were sneaking off with your stepsister in secret. But it's not what I think, so clearly I'm just a lunatic. He ran his hand through his hair, panicking. She's been going through some stuff. Her dad's a mess, she needed someone. I didn't tell you because you've never liked how close we are. That's not an excuse, I said. You chose her over me. You lied for her. Jess stepped in again. It's not his fault I needed him. We're family. I turned on her. No. You're not my family. And if I ever find out you two slept together, I will ruin both of you. Dead silence. No denial. Not even from him. I looked him straight in the eyes. Have you slept with her? His mouth opened, but no words came out. Jess suddenly shouted, "You know what? Fine. We kissed, okay? One time. And it was a mistake." That hit harder than if they'd just admitted everything. I felt my knees buckle. I didn't cry. I just nodded, stepped back, and walked out. He followed me to the door, pleading. It didn't mean anything. I was confused. You kissed your stepsister, dude. You lied to your wife. And now you're confused? I got in my car. Drove off. Didn't look back. But the next few days? Oh, it got worse. Because I found out that kiss wasn't the only secret. I stayed with my friend Maya for a few days. She didn't ask questions, just gave me a blanket, some wine, and a place to scream into a pillow. Honestly, I think that's what saved me from doing something stupid. On the third night, I got a text from my husband. Just one sentence. "I need to tell you the whole truth." I ignored it. Then a second message came through. "Please. It's about Jess. And the baby." I froze. My stomach dropped. What baby? Jess didn't have a baby. Not that I knew of, anyway. Curiosity got the better of me. I called him. He answered instantly, sounding wrecked. "Thank you. Thank you for picking up." I didn't respond. Just waited. "She's pregnant," he said. "Jess is pregnant." That silence I held. It felt like it lasted hours. "She told me last week. Said it was mine." I freaked out. "That's why I've been avoiding you. I didn't know how to deal with it." I was shaking. "So you did sleep with her?" He hesitated. "Only once. That night you went to your mom's and we fought about the job stuff. I was drunk, she was upset. I hung up. I couldn't listen anymore. The next day, Jess texted me herself. Thought you deserved to hear it from me. I'm keeping the baby. I'm not ashamed." I didn't respond. Instead, I called my father-in-law. He sounded exhausted. I asked him plainly, "Did you know about this?" He sighed. "I told him to tell you. I didn't agree with what they did. But I thought it was better you heard it from him than this." That was the final nail. I filed for divorce the next morning. I didn't even tell him, I let the papers do the talking. A few days later, I got a message from Jess. It was just a photo. A sonogram. And a message. "You lost, smiley face." I smiled. Not because it didn't hurt, but because I knew something she didn't. A week later, he called me crying. "It's not mine. The baby." She lied. The DNA test just came back. Oh, the irony. All that betrayal, for nothing. I didn't say, "I told you so." I just said, "You both deserve each other." And I blocked him. After I blocked him, I thought I was done. But I wasn't. Not really. There's a funny thing about betrayal, it either breaks you, or it sharpens something inside you. For me, it sharpened. I didn't go out of my way to ruin them, at first. But the universe kept handing me little tools. Little weapons. And after everything they did, I stopped feeling guilty for using them. Let's start with the baby. Turns out Jess had no clue who the father was. She'd been sleeping with another guy behind my husband's back. And not just some guy, my husband's best friend, Kevin. The same Kevin who introduced me to him back in college. Kevin didn't know she was pregnant either. And when he found out, he flipped. Apparently he'd been keeping their fling secret out of fear it would mess up the group dynamic. She'd been stringing him along while trying to trap my husband into leaving me. Kevin called me after he found out she lied to both of them. "I'm so sorry," he said. "I didn't even know she was still seeing your husband. I thought it was just me." I told him I didn't care. But inside, the puzzle pieces started sliding into place. And then came the next gift from the universe. A girl I barely knew from our college days, let's call her Alina, messaged me on Instagram. We had mutual friends but never really talked. She said, "Hey. I know this is random. But I've seen the stuff going on between you and Jess. And I think you should know, she used to brag in our dorm about how your husband had a thing for her and how one day she'd be his wife. Said she wasn't worried about you because step-siblings have a different kind of bond." I nearly dropped my phone. This woman had been planning this long before I saw any of it. Before the couch cuddles, before the flirtatious texts. She was obsessed. And I married a man too blind, or too weak, to see it. That's when I decided I wasn't going to just walk away quietly. I compiled everything. Screenshots, messages, the sonogram text, the DNA test result, the voice memos from Jess, the messages from Kevin and Alina. I made a folder. Named it Jess's Web of Lies. Then I sent it to her mom. Then her aunt. Then her job. Yes, she works at a daycare. Let that sink in. I didn't say she was a danger to children. I just let her own words speak for themselves. A week later, she lost the job. My husband? He's been trying to win me back. Says he wants to start over. Says he finally sees clearly. Says he'll do anything. He can't even look in the mirror, let alone raise a family. Meanwhile, I've been healing. Slowly. Therapy helps. Yoga surprisingly helps too. But what helps the most? Knowing I never have to be around either of them again. I wasn't planning on revenge. Not in the beginning. But by the time everything had unfolded, it wasn't even revenge anymore, it was just balance. Remember how I said I sent the folder of evidence to Jess's mom and aunt? Well, turns out her family hates drama, but not for the reason you think. They don't avoid it, they hide it. They protect their image like it's sacred. One whisper of scandal and they go full-on damage control mode. And guess what happened when her family found out she'd slept with not one, but two men at the same time, lied about the baby's father, and broke up a marriage? They cut her off. Financially. Socially. Emotionally. The perfect little princess of the family was suddenly exiled. I heard through the grapevine that she's staying in a cheap motel right now, trying to figure things out. No job. No car. No support. But the real twist? I'm pregnant. I found out 3 weeks after I blocked my husband. And before you go, wait, what the hell? Yes, it's his. We had a reconciliation weekend about a month before everything exploded. A stupid, naive attempt at fixing something I didn't realize was already cracked beyond repair. I considered not telling him. Honestly, I really did. But I'm not Jess. I don't use babies to trap people or as pawns in games. So I told him. Straight up. No sugarcoating. I'm pregnant. It's yours. I'm keeping it. But this doesn't mean we're getting back together. He was silent for a long time. Then he cried. Cried like a little boy who finally realized he broke something he can't glue back together. He asked if he could be involved. I said yes, but on my terms. I moved to a new apartment. Fresh start. Therapy every week. Prenatal yoga classes. A job offer in a different city lined up for after the baby's born. I'm building something mine now. And Jess? She sent me a message the other night. Hope you're happy. You ruined my life. I didn't even reply. Because the truth is, I didn't ruin her life. She did that all by herself. All I did was make sure the truth finally caught up.